and welcome to my channel. This is EstiQ Media on YouTube, EstiQ Media, and other channels, Spotify, Amazon, and iTunes as well. So like, subscribe, share. Please do subscribe and be part of the conversation. Now, what are we talking about today? It's concerning the situation in the Southeast. It's become so terrible at the moment that people are being kidnapped for as low as 50,000 naira ransom. Yes, a particular honorable, who represents the House of Representative member has actually talked about this. Honorable Amobi Oga. He cried out over the rampant cases of kidnapping, banditry, and other violent crimes in his federal constituency of Isukwato, Umunachi in Abia State. Now it's that bad. Now we do know recently too there was also another development as well in Enugu where persons were asked to stay at home and their properties were destroyed. This has become terrible and is discouraging investors from coming to the southeast. I have with me Cyril Abako. Cyril Abako is a content creator, a political analyst as well. He's a novelist too. He's a staunch, would I say, critic or believer in making sure that things are done the right way as to governance, method of governance, and he's a producer. Cyril, welcome to EstiQ Media.
My pleasure.
This is my podcast. Now, you heard the intro when I was talking. What's your take on what's going on in the Southeast?
Well, it's bad enough that insecurity is now being retailed in the Southeast. I think that beyond that, it can't get worse. So what government must do now is to put its finger on it very deliberately, very determinedly, and make sure that we don't only get to hear. The work of government and police is not to tell us that something has happened. Part of their work is to detect and prevent. But the fact that they've turned themselves into spokesmen for bandits and kidnappers does not all go well. I personally believe that the insecurity in the Southeast is exported. It's not entirely organic and internal. People, there are outsiders who are, yes.
It's not organic. No. It's not internal.
It's not. It's not.
You think that these are deliberate machinations to destroy the region?
In Imo State, last year or 2 years ago, when intelligence reports said that, I think about 18 reports were released, or about 14 or 18, that the Owerri prison was about to be breached. Government didn't do anything about it. And that came on the heels of the Kuje prison break, when 44 reports were issued by the TSS and nobody did anything about it. So do you mean to tell me that I just think that somebody somewhere is not willing to do what he ought to be doing? Yeah, so, but that it's now being retailed, it means that poverty has also hit the kidnappers.
Yes.
And that just anybody wants to plug into it. So it now gives us room to be able to, if it means the enemy is no longer hidden, actually. They are there.
They're obvious.
They're everywhere now. Yeah, so government now can't hide behind any excuse anymore to say we don't know who they are. They are unknown. They are not unknown government, for goodness. They are known. They are with us. They are known gunmen. They are known kidnappers. Move in there, do what we need to do and arrest the situation.
Do you think it's now a situation like the predecessor of former President Muhammadu Buhari, where they leave them to sort out their business? If they're agitating for Biafra, if they're saying they want self-determination and self-actualization, they should sort themselves out. You can imagine people who want their independence and they cannot even take care of themselves. So how do they independently take care of themselves if they are destroying their own people?
No, so let's even face it. To be very honest with you, Esther, on the question of self-determination, it should be a right.
Okay.
It shouldn't be I don't subscribe to or back Biafran secession. But let me explain how this should work. Ideally, we should be able to come together. 2-3 people should be able to come together, have a conversation, begin a business, for example.
Okay.
After 2 years or 3 years, one party says, guys, I have seen how well we have done together. I believe now that alone I can even do better. And I can walk away. Or I could say, in 10 years of doing business, I'm not so happy with the way that's gone. I think I can still pull out. I brought capital, I brought whatever it was I brought to the business. But what Nigeria is not telling us is whether you are happy staying with us or not, you have no right to say you walk away. I think that amounts to modern slavery, amounts to modern colonialism. What I rather would like to do is to say, if anybody feels aggrieved and wants to go, what can we do to make the person stay? Well, you can't make us stay by force of arms. You can't make me stay by by force or by aggression
For
or by
those
coercion.
for these individuals, I think the foundation is about the self-actualization and determination. But right now, for these miscreants in the southeast, it's about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. That's what they're asking the government to do: release of Nnamdi Kanu. That if Nnamdi Kanu is not released, the southeast will continue to witness this. But there is hunger in the land. If people cannot go out on Mondays to go face their businesses, right? They cannot have access to food. So even those who initially did not want to be part of this, would I say, this criminal activity, they now have to join because they have to feed. Serious, they're kidnapping people for as low as 50,000 naira.
When the sit-at-home thing began in the southeast, I thought it wasn't going to work. And that's why I said sit-at-home is very, very uncharacteristic of the Igbo man.
Okay.
Who wants to do business and make money. The Igbo man is in every part of the world. They will tell you that if there's no Igbo man, if you travel anywhere, it means you can't survive there. So how can people who are so minded about making money and doing business now begin to shoot themselves in the foot and say, Monday? Well, but somehow the thing has come to gain traction. Why? Again, like I said earlier, it is because of the way the Nigerian government has gone about addressing the Nnamdi Kanu issue. They have not been forthcoming with it. They've not been sincere about it. They are not looking for justice. I think they're looking for persecution. They are looking for how to put him down.
Okay.
You know, for example, why is IPOP proscribed?
They are proscribed because a terrorist organization.
And then there are other groups in the country
that are
violent, that have taken responsibility for violence, and the government has let them walk free. You're not being truthful about what
you're doing.
So, and people are seeing these things. That's why the federal government till today does not have the moral right to say anything about Nnamdi Kanu as they bring from Kenya. They've not told anybody. People in Kano, and I think is it Kaduna, another part of the there's a name they call them, the Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG.
Okay.
You see the sort of things they say.
Brazenly, openly, actually. And nobody says anything.
The federal governments will tell you that because they're in a marketplace, they can't arrest them. That if they went to the market, that place will be rowdy. That's the reason the excuse the federal government was giving.
The federal government is giving this on their behalf.
Meanwhile, Nnamdi Kanu that was in Kenya, they were able to rendition him. So how did you do it? Nobody has said anything about it. And your courts in your own country have said, this man, all the charges you brought against him, we void them, set him free. How does that sound in here?
And you refuse to do the needful.
And you refuse to do the needful. So these are the issues that if the federal government had a cause, why not? But they have no cause, and like I've said, it now looks like if two parties to a conflict are staking the same claim, the federal government will deal one party differently and another party differently. That's my personal. Like I said, I am not for Biafran secession. I don't support it. But the way the federal government is now dealing with the issue, that makes it very suspicious and very worrisome. Because the reality is this: like in a home, even in political parties, when people are aggrieved, what do? Do you just brush them away and say,
you bring them together?
You have to do conversation with them. As far as I'm concerned, we have not handled the Kanu matter the best way
it should be.
We could have handled. To believe that you can subjugate people by force of arms, and let me take the risk and even say this: we've read history, all right. The sort of pretentious reintegration that the federal government undertook after the Civil War, and the fact that over the years they didn't really take important steps to effectively,
show that you have actually integrated them or they're part of you.
I think is what is given, because look, the fact is this: if somebody comes and makes a claim, there must be evidence to back up that claim. In this case, there's evidence. So we need to, I think, work more deliberately in making this country one. You cannot, for example, have the ports in Apapa and Tin can walk in, and the ports in Calabar, Warri, Port Harcourt are sub-optimized. If you want to give us the argument of the Port Harcourt port and still what are you doing for looking for oil in Nasarawa and other places? Is it not sunk cost? Is it not the same money you're looking for oil in places where you already have oil that is being stolen in Nigeria? You're not even fixing that, and you're looking for fresh new oil in Nasarawa, Sokoto, and so on. Why can't you? If you are the industries working, the real place to focus on are routes for exports.
Sure.
Port Harcourt, Port, why are all these places lying fallow?
That's true.
So it just tells you that this thing, perhaps because some people feel that if you empower certain parts of the country and they can compete with others, then some people will lose face and lose value. I think we need to go back and think, if the war has been fought and won, and if Nigeria is one country, why can't we then make everybody equal? And so for me, I think that's the pain of the issue. It's not even about Nnamdi. There are issues that must be looked into and addressed. Until we do that,
Nnamdi kind of factor comes in because that's what these miscreants keep using as a loophole.
And because the federal government turned him into a hero, they turned him into a hero to become the symbol of something that many Nigerians would rather not talk about. But because he has come to now. So look, for example, Esther, let's even leave history, contemporary issues. You have cattle grazing. Cattle go to people's farms in Plateau. There's a permanent solution to the Plateau problem. There was this incident in Imo State in Enugu State. Who has been arrested and prosecuted for it?
Nobody.
Look at the one in Owo, the Owo massacre in Ondo.
We've not seen anybody. It's like they disappeared into thin air.
How would we have believed in Nigeria of 2022 that people would just go into a church and shoot
and kill and massacre,
and nothing comes out of 1 year after?
Nothing. It's terrible, Cyril.
You can't build a nation that way. You can't tell us that you're building a nation we should believe in. You must be kidding me, really. So that is where I have my point of departure. The federal government, for whatever it is it claims that it is doing, if you don't wake up to do the important things, it's difficult to believe you.
Thank you so much, Cyril, for being part of my conversation this morning. Remember, like I told you earlier, like, share, comment. I also want to know what you think concerning what we just discussed now. For 2 days or 3 days, we've been seeing this trending conversation. The Igbos were trending on Twitter, and this activities by these miscreants were ongoing, and we've had several historical analysis from individuals as to what is causing that particular what I say, self-actualization and determination by the Igbos on they saying that they want to be independent and they want to be on their own. But what we're saying in the South is that the right course to channel their grievances? Is this the best way to go about it? How will they move forward economically if they continue like this? And what is the role of the state governors in that region where these kidnappings have become concurrent? What do they need to do as soon as possible? So send me your comment. Let me know what you think. Thank you.